2014 could very well be known as the year of the defense for the San Jose SaberCats. And defense wins championships.
Plenty of time, looking deep downfield. He's got it! Touchdown, SaberCats!
Welcome to SaberCats Weekly here on Comcast Sportsnet. I'm Chris Townsend. The regular season is over. The SaberCats went 13-5 and won the Pacific Division. It's playoff time now as Spokane has come to town for the playoffs on Saturday. Coming up next, we'll go over all the highlights from the regular season, and we'll also talk to Coach Jeff Jardigan as we'll get you ready for Spokane and the postseason. That's all coming up next right here on SaberCats Weekly.
The San Jose SaberCats are a team rooted in the history of the Arena Football League. With 3 championship seasons to their name, the SaberCats have a lot to live up to each year. However, the 2014 squad brought with them an additional chip on their shoulder. Last year's team lost a very close playoff game to eventual Arena League champions, the Arizona Rattlers. But the SaberCats regrouped, added new faces, brought back old stars, and even heir apparents all came to training camp with everything to prove.
1, 2, 3, play back! Go.
The SaberCats' first game of the 2014 season became a microcosm of the entire year.
Russ dropping back, looking for Gray. One throw, one catch. Touchdown, Reggie Gray.
The trip to the expansion Portland Thunder could have been an easy task for a team laced with so many veterans. However, after flying out of the gate, the team stumbled. Rookie quarterback Nathan Stanley was handed the reins after Russ Mickna was injured. With the rookie off to a shaky start, the defense took control of the game and set the tone for the rest of the year by holding the Thunder to only 7 points in the entire second half.
Snap, throw in, same spot, one-handed snare, and a pick. It's intercepted by San Jose.
The home opener against reigning American Conference champion Philadelphia Soul was a taste of what the SaberCats could become.
Firing to the 9-yard line, Rod Harper's going to drag tacklers with him, and a touchdown.
A complete game from start to finish began with Stanley finding wideout Rod Harper in the end zone to draw even with the Soul, and from that point on, the SaberCats never looked back. And while the SaberCats offense dominated the first half of the game, it was once again the defense which took over the second half.
On 4th down, Radabov dropping back over the middle of the field, batted away, incomplete. Ken Fontenette had the coverage. SaberCat defense holds.
This time, led by Cleveland Thomas, the defense held the usually prolific Philadelphia offense to only 6 points. Soul quarterback Dan Radabov was chased from the game after being sacked by defensive end Mark Scheibel, and his replacement, Byron Randall, proved just as inept against the powerful SaberCat defense.
And the San Jose SaberCats move to 2-0. They win 70-33.
What followed a fast, promising start was a slow descent into reality for the SaberCats, a losing streak which rivaled any that the team had seen before in the history of the franchise. The surprisingly surging Pittsburgh Power delivered the first blow to the SaberCats. In the first quarter alone, the Cats were kept off the scoreboard while their usually stout defense allowed 3 power touchdowns. The deficit proved insurmountable as the SaberCats' valiant comeback attempt fell just inches short.
Willis got it and then dropped it, and it's incomplete!
Coming so close yet failing to convert led to one of the team's worst losses of the season.
Meyer keeps it himself, lunges, extends, reaches, he got in, touchdown. Highland can't believe it, but it's a touchdown for Meyer, his 4th rushing score of the game.
Returning Arena Football League MVP Eric Meyer and the Spokane Shock delivered an 11-point loss to the SaberCats on their home turf. Not even the return of starting quarterback Russ Mickman could hold the Shock in check, as Meyer almost single-handedly took the SaberCats out of the game. Things wouldn't get any easier for the Cats the following week. From one of the best quarterbacks in the league to another, the Arena Bowl champion Arizona Rattlers brought Nick Davila to the SAP Center. Davila dealt the SaberCats their unprecedented 3rd loss in a row. It was now a true test of character for the San Jose SaberCats. Either quit and let this season pass them by, or come together as a team and pull themselves back on top.
We're not going to go in the corner and hide. We're going to come out and play every week. We understand what we're up against. We're trying to win a championship, and we just got to keep putting water on it, change a little fertilizer every once in a while, and watch it grow.
Wardrobe has been provided by Casera Clothers.
Coming off of 3 straight losses, the 2014 San Jose SaberCats found themselves in unfamiliar waters.
We have to get better in all 3 phases. There's about 4 or 5 plays that change the outcome of a game in my mind.
They had a losing record for the first time in years.
And to make those 4 or 5 plays, you have to make 100 of them in practice during the week, and they're doing that right now.
Some teams might have tucked tail and run under that kind of pressure. All the SaberCats did was turn the game of arena football on its head. Arena football is built for the offense to score points. The only problem is that someone forgot to tell that to the SaberCat defense. During the next 5 games, the SaberCats refused to allow more than 35 points a game. Not surprisingly, the Cats won all 5 of those games. In a game typically ruled by wide receivers, it was the SaberCats defensive backs who took charge.
Firing picked off again. Intercepted by Cleveland Thomas.
Led by team captain and future Hall of Famer Cleveland Thomas, the SaberCats DBs cleaned house.
Zebanowski. Picked off. Ken Fontenette with the interception.
Veterans Ken Fontenette and, when healthy, David Highland led by example. Second-year man Simeon Castile and rookie Kenny Okora couldn't have asked for better teachers. It helped that they are both quick learners, too.
Hey, he gonna run that 4.
And picked off, and we will have more points. Simeon Castile with a pick 6.
My dog, appreciate it.
And while the SaberCats defensive backs made opposing receivers wither, their own receiving corps also faced some challenges. Reigning Playmaker of the Year Reggie Gray had been taken out of commission due to injury. That forced the SaberCat coaching staff to reach into their depth chart and put a new receiver into the spotlight. Fortunately, they had just a guy waiting in the wings. Dominic Curry brings something to the San Jose SaberCats receiving corps which few teams can match. A unique combination of size, speed, and athleticism make him almost uncoverable on an arena football field.
Throws across, Curry leaps and brings it down. Touchdown, SaberCats!
And he's not alone.
It's by committee. They're not selfish. It's about the team, and that's what I like about these guys.
Few teams have had an answer for his fellow wideout Rod Harper, who leads the SaberCats in receptions. The always reliable Jason Willis provided a security blanket for quarterback Russ Mickman during this 5-game winning streak, always doing whatever was necessary for the team to win. Willis, Curry, and Harper held down the fort until Gray's return against the Shock. At that point, trying to cover all 4 of these superstar receivers would be hopeless.
I'll move to the 19-yard line. Mickna dumps it out. Rich Wrangling rumbling. Touchdown, San Jose.
It wasn't just the receivers who got into the game. The SaberCats employed their standout offensive linemen in the passing game as well. Rich Wrangling provided a valuable target for the SaberCats quarterbacks throughout the season. Wrangling, along with fellow offensive lineman George Bussey and the rest of the SaberCats line, provided a virtual wall for the team's quarterbacks to sit back and pick apart defenses. They also opened up huge holes for the Cats running backs, J.J. Payne and Odie Armstrong.
J.J. Payne, the fullback, lunging to the goal line. He's in. San Jose, touchdown.
Allowing them to run through defenses on their way to touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
Sweep now to Odie Armstrong, and he's in for a touchdown.
Our offensive line did an amazing job. The holes was wide open. Coach Ode, calling great plays. We had great preparation for this week coming in.
5 straight wins may have had the SaberCats riding high, but a trip down to the snake pit brought the team back down to reality. And this one hurt.
Second down, Mickna throws, hit on the throw. The pressure got to him.
Russ Mickna is out. The SaberCats starting quarterback knocked out, and Nathan Stanley, the backup quarterback, comes on in.
Nathan Stanley was again forced into the starting role due to an injury to starting quarterback Russ Mickna. Despite a valiant effort from Stanley, the SaberCats couldn't keep pace with the then unbeaten Arizona Rattlers. But it was after that game where the SaberCats again rose up to the challenge, rallied together, and began to take over football games.
Stanley dropping back to pass, good protection, firing into the end zone, and Reggie Gray, touchdown SaberCats.
I hate what happened to Russ, but it's good to finally get back in the game and get some action.
With Stanley now firmly at the helm, there was nothing anyone could do to stop the prolific SaberCats offense as they began a 3-game homestand. After easily disposing of the hapless LA Kiss, the SaberCats were once again able to hold off the Spokane Shock.
Stanley on the short set, firing to Curry. What a great catch. Breaks 2 tackles. 10-5 touchdown, Dominique Curry.
Then the still undefeated Arizona Rattlers came back to town. Undefeated after 14 regular season games, the Arizona Rattlers came into the SAP Center breaking all kinds of Arena Football League records. Led by a furious charge from their defensive line, the San Jose SaberCats ended every one of those records with a victory so resounding, the Rattlers would carry the sting with them for weeks to come. 5 minutes into the game, this epic rivalry appeared just like any other, with the teams trading a few scores. Then Carter hit Davila.
Fumbles the ball. It's loose at the 7. It's picked up by Francis Maka. Touchdown, SaberCats.
The ball was right in front of me. Normally I would have just dove on it, but I thought I had it, and I did.
From there, the rout was on. In fact, the mighty Arizona Rattlers wouldn't score again until there were only 14 minutes left in the entire game. By holding the Rattlers' offense to only 7 points through the first 3 quarters of play, the SaberCats defense truly flexed its muscles for the whole league to see.
And I think tonight we put it all together, offense and defense, and the outcome showed it.
Under pressure and sacked again. Maka got there again.
He has a tendency, Davila, to drift to the left.
We have a mantra, if the D-line can create pressure, the DBs will get picks, and if they can cover, then we'll get sacks.
Hey, we need to see it, Doc. We need to see it. Hey, guys, believe. Everybody look. Believe. They're trying to take from your family. They're trying to take from mine.
The SaberCat defensive front carried the momentum from that win with them throughout the rest of the regular season. Jason Stewart, Francis Maka, Terrence Carter, Mark Scheichel, and Luis Vasquez tore through opposing linemen throughout the entire season.
In some trouble, rolling to his left, down he goes. Jason Stewart, the man who recorded the sack.
If that weren't bad enough, After the win against Arizona, the SaberCats stacked the deck even further with the activation of former AFL sack leader Joe Sykes.
Kaufman's in trouble. Sykes with the sack, and the SaberCats get the stop.
The addition of Sykes gives the SaberCat defensive line an unblockable force coming off the edge. It may be entirely possible that, when all their linemen are healthy, they simply cannot be blocked. A six-headed monster constantly putting unbridled pressure on opposing quarterbacks means teams have nowhere to hide. As the 2014 season came to a close, with the division and the promise of at least one playoff game assured, the SaberCats have been testing themselves and fine-tuning their methods in preparation for a long run at that championship trophy. The regular season is over, and behind the division champion SaberCats, now their eyes look forward to a bigger prize. In their way, a huge challenge from an old tormentor. But this is the playoffs. Win or go home.
Now joining us on SaberCats Weekly, Coach Jarnigan from the SaberCats coaching staff. And Coach, a nice little 72-43 win to end the season. I got to think it was great to get that road victory, and the flight had to be pretty sweet on the way home.
Oh, you know, coming back on those planes after a win is always an enjoyable experience, much more so than after a loss. So it was a fun plane ride home, and it was great to see us play well in all three phases of the game. Reggie got a great kickoff return, had a great night on offense, and it was a great win for us.
Now, you know, this show goes for 20 weeks, so we spent a lot of time talking about the Arena Bowl, about the playoffs. Playoffs are going to start this Saturday at SAP Center against Spokane. Tell me what this week of practice is going to be like, because no more a regular season. It's now going for that title.
It's a new season, you know. I mean, everyone starts over, and no one's got a win, no one's got a loss going into it. I think the players realize that there's no tomorrow in the playoffs, and you know, the intensity level, the speed of the game in the playoffs is even more intense than what it is in the regular season. And I think our players are going to come out and they're going to respond to the situation that we have in front of us. They set their goals earlier this year on what they wanted to accomplish, and it's within their grasp right now. So they're going to have to come out and perform and practice, and it's like coaches talked all year. You know, it takes, you know, what you do on the practice field, what you do in the weight room, and what you do in the meeting room. And they've already been stopping by and, you know, wanting to look at film and asking questions about what we were going to do, and so it's exciting to be a part of.
And of course, they have the reigning MVP, and you've never played him in the postseason before. And Eric Meyer, who, like Russ Mickna, broke his clavicle, but he did it earlier before Russ. He's back. They've won 5 in a row since he's been back. Tell us how tough it is going to be to stop their quarterback, who's so dynamic.
He's a competitor. It's the thing I've always respected about him as a quarterback is, you know, he plays at a high level. He takes a lot of opportunities. The thing about Eric is you have to not let him beat you with his feet. And I know it's kind of unique to say about a quarterback in this game, but he's got the ability to extend plays. He's got the ability, if you get out of your pass rush lanes, to run it in for a touchdown. And so we've got to do a great job of staying in our lanes as a defensive line and get after him. I think we'll have a little fun on Saturday.
Yeah, this game's going to be all about protecting the quarterback, because as we crunch the numbers, they led the league in sacks with 40. San Jose was right behind them at 39. So both defenses have the ability to get after the quarterback. This game could come down to who protects their QB better.
Well, I think that's, you know, that's any game really, but you're right. You have, you know, 2 of the best pass rushes in the league that are going to go head to head against each other, and I know our offensive line is up for the challenge, and I know our defensive line is certainly up for the challenge.
Before we let you go, what is it like for the coaching staff? We know what it's like for the players. What's it like for you getting ready for the postseason?
I love this time of year. You know, I think this is why you do all the work that we do in the off season. I think it's why, for these opportunities, it's why you go through the trials and tribulations that you do throughout a season. And this is why we coach. This is why the players play. For these opportunities. And I think that sometimes, you know, football teams experience certain things in the season that helped get them ready for this opportunity. But it's going to come down to all those little things that we've been talking about all year, whether it be offense or defense or special teams. They all come to play out during the playoffs. It comes down to how good a job have you done coaching these guys during the season, and how well have they done, job have they done of paying attention to what you've been saying.
And of course, a home playoff game. It's going to be rocking at the SAP Center. Good luck on Saturday,
Thank
Coach.
you so much.
The SaberCats' quest for a 4th Arena Bowl title starts this Saturday night against the Spokane Shock at 7 o'clock at the SAP Center. Tickets are still available, and if you can't go to the game, you'll be able to hear it on KMBR 1050. Of course, we'll have all the highlights for you next week right here on SaberCats Weekly. It's playoff time. We'll see you soon.
SaberCats Weekly has been brought to you by Dr. Sharma South Bay Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Casera Clothers, Norton by Symantec, and Fries.com.